And we're live.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jason Bowman. I'm joined by my man at the controls of the mothership here, Mr. Steve Alejandro. Steve, say what's
Hello.
up to the people.
Hello, everybody.
And tonight we got something really cool for you guys. We've got Florian Venom Kohler, who burst on the scene back in 2010 with what back then was a made-for-resale DVD called Venom 1. Of course, that video was quickly pirated. It found its way online and quickly became a big internet sensation. And since then, Florian, again, he goes by the nickname Venom, has gone on to make hundreds of online videos. And tonight he's here to join us to give us really the inside story on some of his biggest video hits. But before I introduce Florian, I do want to take a second and give a shout out to all of our healthcare professionals, our nurses and doctors, our first responders, grocery workers, truck drivers, restaurant personnel, delivery drivers, all the people that are pitching in right now, to keep this country running and putting their lives on the line to do it. So shout out to all those folks.
Appreciate you.
And if any of them are tuning in, we certainly appreciate you. We hope you stay safe and we hope you stay well. And thank you for everything that you're doing right now to really keep us moving. I don't know where we'd be without those people. So again, thank you to you. And so with that, let me introduce the man himself. Florian, what's up, buddy?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys?
We're doing great, my man. How's so tell the audience where you are, how you are, what life looks like on in the social distancing era.
Well, I'm in Las Vegas, so in my home right now. I'm pretty much stuck doing trick shot videos, which I've seen worse. The only issue is we cannot run the league, so that kind of sucks. But other than that, we hang in there and just try to keep up, come up with some insane shots daily. So that's my life now.
Yeah. So Florian, of course, runs our APA league there in Las Vegas. So I got to ask you before we jump into this. I mean, have you been down to the Strip? Like, what's that scene look like? I've seen some video and some pictures, and it looks almost like post-apocalyptic is the way I could describe it. What have you been down there at all?
Yeah, it's entirely right. This is a really weird feeling. It's a weird vibe. It's very I'll say eerie. Like I think we went there a couple of days ago to just literally walk the dog out there, like walking the dog on the strip, right? I mean, think about how crazy that is. And there's just nobody. It's just empty. All you can see is a few police officers by each casino, basically guarding the entrance. A couple of people, and that's pretty much it. I mean, there's just nothing going on, and I've never seen anything like it. It's a sight that you never think you're going to see, because even at 4 or 5 in the morning in Vegas, there's something going on. And right there is just nothing. Few cars here and there, but it's just weird. There's no word for it, really. It seems like the closest I could describe is like a bad horror movie, pretty much,
Yeah. So you and the family though are well, I assume. Ayana is doing well, Venomette, and your daughter Chrissy. Everybody's healthy and just doing their thing, staying inside, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about how the wife is doing too good, because I've been trying to do so many more stupid shots, so I don't know how this is going to end up for me. But I don't know if you follow a little bit. Last week was toilet paper trick shot. This week was trying to not to break a beer bottle, from the inside to the outside. So I'm pretty sure something bad's going to happen to me, but we don't know yet.
Well, don't make things any worse on yourself, Florian. This may go on for a few more weeks, so don't make anything worse on yourself than you have to.
That's what I'm worried about. We still got a month to go. This seems dangerous here, but hopefully my walls are going to stay here too, because I'm kind of in my pool room right now. I'm looking at the walls around, and I see holes pretty much everywhere, so it's not looking too good.
So let's transition from the what's going on right now and revisit kind of some of your bigger video hits, if you will. And before we jump into the first one, I just want to talk about kind of how you got started with the trick shots in general. If you could just briefly, kind of tell the story of where Florian Kohler picks up a cue stick and runs with the things that he's doing today.
Well, actually, I didn't start very young to play pool. I started when I was 18 years old, and so I remember in the car I heard an ad on the radio. I was still living in France back then. Somebody's selling a small pool table for like it was 500 euro, something like that. And I was like, man, I really want that. So I bugged my parents to just put one in the attic up there, and so we went to pick it up. It was cheap, but whatever, it worked. So then I'm here. I got this pool table, and I got no clue how to play. So what you do when you got no clue how to play is you basically just sort of, go online, look at videos on the internet, and
YouTube.
some trick shots. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll learn pool this way. And after a while, I basically did all the trick shot that already existed the last 60 years, and decided it was a little boring. So I created my own version, and from there it just went up and skyrocketed. It's just the funny thing though is I never really quite learned pool with just the trick shot. I had to learn pool afterward, But like it was really interesting. I 2 years maybe, and I knew all the trick shot that they've been doing the last 60 years. So that's really what got me into it. I was like, man, I got to do something new, something more fresh and different.
And how is your actual pool game now? Because I know you take a lot of heat from people that are like, yeah, he could do those crazy trick shots, but he can't run out a table. Da, da, da. How's your actual game?
It's still kind of funny at this point, But to be honest with you, actually, currently my pool game is probably the best it's ever been because being stuck in quarantine, probably play like 2 or 3 hours daily in normal pool. That's what I call normal pool. Is fun. And no, I run out pretty good. I posted a video recently too about the ghost. You're beating the ghost, meaning you play by yourself and you try to just run out every table. And the way I do it, and after break. But if I don't make a ball on the break, the ghost get a point too. So every miss, the ghost get a point. So usually when you can beat the ghost, you're pretty high skill level. But it's yeah, I have fun, playing as my league players too. So do the challenge matches. I usually play myself as a 9, and it's always kind of a fair race. So
you're playing at a 7-9 level, 8-ball, 9-ball kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I should be. Yeah. Don't play league either. So
good to know. So let's talk about this first video that we're going to watch, Florian. So, you get the pool table, you start watching trick shot videos, you start making your own kind of smaller scale videos. Tell us how this Venom 1, which is really what kind of kick-started, or jump-started this thing that you're doing now. How did this come about? Like, where did this begin?
Well, what happened is from this those videos, that I posted online. Then they just kind of got more elaborate a little bit, and it just, was almost like a weekly to bi-weekly things that I posted. And then some guy from Canada, a producer of pool videos, and his name's Nathan, kind of, looked at it and was like, man, we should be able to do something. Nobody has released a cool trick shot video in a while, and this might be the way to make it more modern. So here I am, only after playing a few years of pool, flying to Canada, tried to record that the DVD, and so we did a really nice studio and everything, put a bunch of money in there, and the idea was to literally just try to sell those DVD and make money from it.
So before you tell us too much about this particular video, let's take a look at it real quick, Steve, and then Florian can kind of tell us logistically how this thing actually came together, because I know there's a pretty good story there.
And I want to point out, this is the trailer for the DVD. This is not the DVD itself. So this is what you guys used afterwards. But I'm going to hit play. Now, you guys may not be able to hear it, but they can hear it at home.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we want to keep the video flowing to keep the viewers up.
Florian, actually, I think we're having a small technical issue, and the audio from the video is not coming through. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, basically, this is all epic music. So the idea was to make it look like a Hollywood trailer, So you have, back then when it was the beginning of the internet, not the beginning of the internet, but the beginning of the social media, the way we're seeing it, you had to really be efficient because connection were still slower. You didn't have, like huge networks and stuff. So we just had maybe 2-3 minutes to make it as epic as possible. So we used epic music and a bunch of shot really quickly, trying to make it as fast as possible, as fast paced and as much action paced as as it could be, because pools, the issue with pools, it's always been a little slow, and it's great when you're a pool player, but as a non-player, it's always a little bit difficult because it's not necessarily that entertaining. So our idea was always to go into the action side of it and make it really entertaining for somebody who's never touched a cue, and from to basically grab the people and make them want to play pool.
So where was this thing created, Florian? Where was this video shot? I mean, it looks like a really elaborate kind of place, the dark setting. Is this a studio of some kind? Where's this produced?
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't have that kind of money to afford a studio. So I think he was in the middle of nowhere in Quebec. When I say middle of nowhere, I
Wow.
had a restroom. Okay, so it was probably about an hour from like a big size, decent sized city in the middle of a cornfield. So it was a warehouse, and they used to store haze and stuff like that. You know, I don't know. So it was a big warehouse, and we built a set that's basically four. Well, actually, it's not four. It's three wood panels. You know, to get it like almost a square. And then one side is just camera. We put carpet on the floor, like a basic gray carpet, I think it was. And then the rest is, I'm not even sure what's on the wall. I think it might be either another kind of carpet or some sort of cheap, fabric, whatever, just to make it dark.
Wow.
But it looks really cool, but it wasn't. And then the next issue was we had a massive sound issue because the weather was pretty nasty. And on those big warehouse with, I don't know what it is, aluminum roof or whatever it is, you could hear all the range just coming through, and it was just wind and everything. So all the audio had to be reworked. At least it wasn't my job, so I was okay. But it was an absolute pain in the butt, I think, to edit.
And so, what was like the budget for this? What did this cost to produce? Do you have any ballpark?
I mean, each video like those, they probably cost in between $10,000 to $15,000 or something like that, and that's honestly a really low budget for how much work has to be put on. I mean, the editing and the hours setting it up, and just think about the flights and the hotels and all those things, the food, it's just adds up so quickly, and I don't have to teach you guys how it is.
Sure. The crazy thing is, I watched this, Florian, like, this doesn't even look like you anymore. I'm like, who's that guy?
Young,
like, how different does he look? Look at this.
That's about 10 years old, something. So
That's crazy. So for me, the first time I saw this video, obviously I saw it on Facebook, or I think it was probably Facebook. It wouldn't have been MySpace back then. But I see this video, and I had no idea who Florian was, but I instantly was like, well, number one, I was like, is this real? Like, are these shots legitimately real? Because I couldn't get my mind around that they would be, and I thought, well, surely they're real. And then my next thought is, man, how do we get a hold of this guy? I want to work with this guy, but we didn't have a way to find you. You were in France, and so that's my first memory of this video, is just being wowed, realizing it was unlike anything I'd ever seen. And at that point, I'd been at APA for 10 years or something, so I certainly wasn't new to the pool world. But this was very groundbreaking.
Yeah, I remember reading the comments on this one all the time. People were like, was it magnets? How did you do it? Was there a string in the ceiling? And just everyone was trying to figure it out. And I think it was this shot here. Like, how long does it take you to do something like that? I mean, you don't have to.
I mean, it still is to this day. I mean, every day I wake up, somebody either insult me or call it fake.
That one there, like, what? It's
just one of those. But at first, it really pissed me off. But now, I take it as it's the biggest compliment I can ever have. So that means it's that good that people cannot believe it. I mean, how good it had to be. So, but now the idea in this one was to really, like you say, make it groundbreaking. So everything had to be different. And even if it was an old shot, it had to be a different flair to it, a different style to make it more modern. I'm thinking about the way that they used to do the first few skateboarding videos, and then 10 years later, those videos were insane, and same for the BMX and motocross. One guy decided one day to do a backflip, and people were like, oh my God. And then, 5 days later, they're doing triple backflips, and it was sort of the same thing. And it was just, the idea is to really make it completely new, completely different from everybody's scene. Plus, on top of that, clean quality, very nice quality, because it was also the beginning of, I'll say, cheaper camera, affordable camera that, wasn't like you required a big TV camera that cost you $100,000. So,
right.
As well.
Slow-mo cameras, all that stuff adds up real fast. You guys ready to go to the next video?
Well, hold on. I'm curious. I want to talk real quick though about, so this thing was produced to be sold as a DVD, right? So how long before this thing shows up and is being circulated on the internet for free, and how pissed were you when that happened? And how long did it take before you realized what had happened was it maybe even better for your career than had this thing been sold as a DVD? Tell that story.
It took me a while actually to get to make peace with it, right? So we intend to produce this thing. I'm not making any money out of it, really, and the producer's not making any money out of it. He actually lost money, right? So we sold this DVD, and we're like, oh, we're gonna sell plenty of them. We don't need to sell them any to make money. We just, need to break even so we can do better the next one.
Right.
So we released it, and a week later, I saw it on the Chinese YouTube, which is called UQ, right? Yeah. And a week later, I saw it. It's at 100 million views, and I'm like, "What is this joke? Like, how is it even possible, right?"
That's
So
not
here
a
I
good
am,
feeling.
calculating in my mind. I'm like, okay, 100 million views by $20 DVD. You know, imagine how much money we actually lost there. But in this, so it was really, it was really like hard,
Yeah.
sweat and effort, and you get nothing, no money, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, later I realized this is pretty much what launched me, because that's exactly what you needed back then. It was just the viral effect, and that just gave me so much power to approach sponsor, to for example, work with APA and all those things that would have never happened if it was just a small DVD, which would have made a little money out of it. And since then, I've never really cared about my content being taken out of context anymore. It's just, as long as it's getting me views, I'm okay with it. And I think, any advertisement is great advertisement. It took me a little while to, make peace with it, but now it's definitely no problem.
That's definitely a cool story, and I could see how your perspective certainly would have changed over the years. So, Steve, what do we got next? We got the Venom Unleashed.
Unleashed in Vegas, I believe.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I did fix the audio here. Let me get it balanced. So
this is one of my faverites right here.
Yeah, this
we'll
is
tell
when
you
we
why
shot
here in just a minute.
Then I won't spoil it. I
I might know
spoil
more.
things. I gotta not talk. I'm gonna get in trouble. All right, I'm gonna play it. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Melissa R. And so we got sound, right? We got sound. They're not hearing us.
No, they can hear us too.
Oh, well,
So
that's
hello,
Melissa R,
everybody.
folks.
That's Melissa R.
Nice, Jason. Nice.
They won't be able to hear us as well. At least I certainly hope so. Look so happy.
Yeah. I'm always happy when I do those things. It's a weird thing I have.
I mean, one of my favorite things about this video, one, obviously it's one that we collaborated on and did together, but the fact that we did it in a casino, which, if most of you guys don't know about production, but shooting in a live casino is a huge thing. Huge thing to get the approvals and to deal with the filming releases. But we were able to shoot this back at the old Riviera, which is obviously no longer standing. Another reason I love this video, because of all the footage from the Riv.
Yeah, the place is gone.
But
to speak about what you're saying, there were times when I'm the production guy, right? I would be walking to the casino having to hold my camera straight down, and if it so much as went above a certain degree angle, I'm thinking like security's gonna jump out as you walk by the cage where they keep all the money. They're paying attention. It's really different. Many things like that.
Well, and you remember we had that person watching 24 hours too.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was your first real collaboration with APA when we first started working together, and of course the lovely Melissa R. Who I don't know, Florian. I mean, look, I know the most beautiful. So you've used a lot of ladies in your videos. The most beautiful of which I know you will tell me is Venomette, your wife.
Obviously.
So
no
let's
question.
just scoot her off the table
because she's already won.
She's number one. Who is number two in terms of the ladies you've worked with, and is Melissa R number two? Because in my personal opinion,
why is it Melissa R?
as the guy who actually booked Melissa R and went through a book of ladies, and my wife's probably watching too, and then there's nobody more beautiful than her to me, but
Obviously.
This one's certainly up there with the ladies you've used, is she not?
Yeah, I mean, hey, you might be a little biased because it was your pick, right?
Yes.
But no, I mean, I got to say though, it's kind of a weird thing too, because some people, really look great in person and this, but on the camera they don't look as much. And then some people, they're comfortable behind the camera and actually doing that, because believe it or not, it's not easy to lay on the table all day. It feels like being laying on a rock, right? As far as I know. And it's not easy to keep smiling and to keep having the right attitude. And like this, yeah, she took it like a champ, honestly, because this was not a fun day. I mean, well, it was funny, but it was long and painful. And, that's what we call the true professional. And that's something that it's hard to find, to be honest with you. And, it's easier said than done. A lot of people are great, they look great, but to actually do it for a job, it's actually a real skill. Trust me. So, and I've worked with a few, and we've had, high and lows, and this was a pretty good high. I'll be honest.
Good. When we called the agency, it was probably one of the most bizarre conversations I've ever had, hiring talent for anything I've ever
I
done.
bet.
I'm a photographer, I'm a videographer, commercial for APA, and I had to tell the agent, hey, look, I need a model who's going to lay on a hard surface for 8 to 12 hours with very little breaks because the production schedule was tight, and we're going to be shooting pool balls, not necessarily at her.
Oh yeah, we
Close.
are. Yeah.
Not
basically
on
shooting
purpose.
people in her face. Yeah, right. Yeah.
We're not intending to hurt her, and then of course it was some what, and there was after the explanation. But this is who we ended up with, Melissa R. She is, shockingly enough, I want to say she was pushing. She was either just turned 40 or was about to turn 40. She was a yoga fitness instructor for her like day job.
Yeah, did she have like 4 kids or something like that too?
She had a
was
couple
amazing.
of kids. Yep. And
But
she
you're
was a
right,
trooper.
Florian. I mean, the fact that she was such a trooper, because this was probably what did we shoot? Like 8-hour. This was like an 8-hour
One of the
shoot.
biggest issues, we couldn't shoot whatever we wanted, right? We didn't have
Right.
this exact schedule we would have loved because we had to go during, I think it was low hours, right? Like,
Right. Well, it was the World Pool Championship, right? So
That's right.
There's a second one of these, and I don't remember if there's footage from the second half of the shoot in this video, but we had to go shoot in the main tournament room. Well, there's tournament play in there from like 7 in the morning to like 11 p.m. in the main room, and they end at like 2 in the morning.
Yeah, 2 or 4, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Yeah.
So we obviously can't have this dude in there slamming the table with his,
it makes a little noise, right? Yeah.
right, while tournament play is going on. So we actually had to kind of like physically prepare ourselves, and we actually did a shoot from like 11 p.m. overnight till 8 a.m. and she was part of it.
Yeah.
And my favorite quote from Florian Kohler during any shoot I've ever done with him is at about 3 in the morning he gets a little weird. And he says, "Vampire mode activate," and he starts.
They would still work for everything.
And that's how you get through the shoot at 4 in the morning, apparently. So,
it's actually, believe it or
time.
not, that's when I shoot my best. Is doing like after midnight, it starts to get there, right?
Right.
I'm
hallucinating and seeing unicorns and fluffy rainbows, and he's just having a great time.
And this is your pool table.
Player,
Wasn't this your pool table that you brought, Florian? Wasn't this the pool table out of your house?
Yeah, it was. Actually, that was the fun thing, too. We had to move this table from my house to the west, to the Rive, actually, to the Riviera, right? So we had to move this thing physically and then set it up, then shoot there, and then set it back out, put it back in my house. Yeah, it was a pain in the butt.
And how many times have you done that with your own table? Have you hauled your own table out to a shoot?
Counting. I got one in the garage in pieces just for that now. So,
oh wow,
smart.
This one probably
we did a time lapse of
of
breaking down your table, I think, somewhere, didn't we?
Oh yeah, and this very table went to, I think it went to this thing here. So it went in the Riv, then it went to the Riv in 2 different spots. Remember, it went in the main room as well a little bit.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Then it went, I think it went to the Mayweather Boxing Club because we did a video there. It went in the helicopter pad at the airport, and then he went into the deserts around dune buggies, and I think after that it was pretty much done. But
so what happened to the table? Is it you just dispose of it?
I was able to sell it. Somebody
sold it. Okay.
Like a piece of
pretty
memorabilia.
cheap
That's
for
cool.
a 9-footer, but it still played good. I mean, the slate was intact, so it's only and then we had a new version of it. So
it's a pretty table. You've been working with your sponsor Rasson for a long time, haven't you?
I've always been working with the same people because the pool industry is a small industry, and you can't just go all around. When you trust people and when people trust you back, it's the best way to do good things. And I've always had a great relationship because then we're all able to work in harmony and work well and do bigger thing. Because if you just switch constantly from one sponsor to another, then it's very hard to build something big. And those projects, they're, like I said, they're costly, but they're great, and they're like highlights of my life. This one is one of those I'll remember forever, and I guess you guys probably the same. I mean, this was something else.
Yeah.
Not many people are able to shoot in casino, like this. So, and it was it was pretty special.
The other interesting thing that I remember about this, guys, is we were actually in the middle of we had a production company that had come in and was shooting a TV pilot at the same time. This was actually a portion of that TV pilot. The pilot was called Behind the Eight Ball. It was never picked up. We actually own the rights to the pilot, which we have. Maybe someday we'll air that, Steve, and see what the world thinks. But
it might be time to put it right now. Let's put Steve back and work more.
Yeah. Well, I've got the footage still sitting at the office.
Yeah, but that's what I remember. And then Didn't we have an issue, Steve? I'm not going to ask Florian this. Didn't we have an issue with Melissa R? Like we had to get her some type of other, like something else to wear or something. Tell me the story.
So, all right. So here's the deal. Obviously, Melissa R, and she's a very nice, very respectful. Like this is no knock against her. I should have been a better director, and I should have worked better with the agency to inform them. But Melissa's in a very short dress, and as you can see, this is an open set. Like there's people just walking by. So I don't know if the agency kind of informed her that maybe she shouldn't wear like the underwear that you would normally wear with a dress like that. Let's guess how I'll say that. And it's about as PC as I can get. And so because we had a peanut gallery, we obviously wanted to show Melissa respect. So, but we're in the middle of a Vegas casino, like, and we need like board shorts, or I guess they're called. I'm that guy. I don't know what these things are called, but you know, a couple of our teammates went and grabbed some, and because it actually halted shooting. Like we couldn't shoot.
Well, I mean, some
until we
people
solved
have
the
fun, you
problem.
know. The people that you see standing on the other side, right? They were standing there. They were camping. They had a good time for a little while out there.
Yeah,
So,
she was a true professional, though. Somebody you guys mentioned that, and she was, you know, I mean, just the hours, and you said like she does get hit by the ball like several times.
God, yeah.
You know, maybe not in the face, but in the arms and the legs.
It leaves a few bruises, you know. But I'm sure most of the people that are watching here, if you've seen the show, I probably have missed one or two shots, and I probably hit one of you guys. So, you know.
Well, I
remember.
There's a shot here where you did almost hit me. More, not me, but the
I didn't
lens.
hit you. Oh.
It was right here. This shot, right here.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
So
yeah,
we filmed it in the beginning from the other side because we usually do two sides to every shot, and I don't know if you had top spin or what. It rolled on the front there instead of coming back, and it almost rolled into like a $10,000 camera. For real, our production assistant Derek Bell, if you're out there listening, I love your face for this. He literally, boom.
I remember that.
Boom. I could go back and find it. It's not in this, obviously, but had he not like ninja'd the cue ball, it would have been bad news bears. I mean, we had backups, but that's not what you want to go tell your boss. Hey, yeah.
No, that's the first time I've heard that story. So
yeah, did I not tell you that?
I don't think so. It's the first time I heard that story.
Maybe I sometimes don't tell you things that maybe worked out, so maybe you don't have to worry.
It's always all right to tell it after it works out, right? It's a good story then.
It did work out. Maybe that's why we did. I'm sure I've told you at some point or another.
Look at the Riviera, too, in all her glory. All right, so what do we got next? What's the next video we got that we're going to take a look at?
You know what?
Florian's Arsenal.
I don't remember.
Well, you play it and we'll talk about it.
Oh.
Let me turn up the audio a bit here for the video.
That is one of my personal favorites that never got viral, actually. Sadly.
Oh, so this is also from our event, right?
Yep.
It is, yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is at the Westgate.
Yep.
There's Ayana.
Yep.
There we go, yeah.
This was actually something you and I had talked about for a long time that I ended up not being able to be on set for this one. Which broke my heart because this just looks so freaking cool.
Yeah, we always kind of talked about this because of the sheer number of tables in the room, how cool it would be to do something, and you know, Florian just kind of spearheaded it and took this into, you know, did it himself. Yeah.
Well, actually, we had some help from Pool Dog, which is, you know, it's been a part of the APR for a while now.
Oh, yeah, we love Pool Dog.
Yep.
As you know, secured team and the camera crew as usual to make it happen. So the hardest part in this was, once again, it was shot in very few hours, right? I mean, after the tournament is done and before it's starting again. So what is it? What we said, like 8 hours tops or something like that?
Yeah, I think there's one night during the 10-day tournament where we had a window that we could get you in here. There was only one night, and so Bill Tufts and you know, the tournament team, I know Tim Dyer was involved because he was on the night shift, really made this happen along with our table vendors from High Country. So it takes a lot of work to try to fit something like this in, but they made it happen that night, and then obviously Florian was able to do his magic.
Yeah, I honestly, it's probably one of my best as far as skill goes, because to pull all the never repeated, right? Never repeated, because I've never tried this before. So I had to come up on the spot with the shots, make them in almost no time to make, you know, a 3-minute video or whatever, and not waste anybody's time, because if you do miss, you only have one shot at it. That's it, you know. Other times you might be able to get back at it or take an extra day or extra hours. This one, you just, you had to do it, and it was clutch. It was right there. You had to do it, and it ended up working perfectly. It just didn't go viral for some reason. I don't know. I don't. But, hopefully we can do another one.
I love that one.
I'm sure we could. You bring up a good point about how difficult these things are really to shoot, because you always tell me for like a 3-minute video, you want about 30 shots to pull from, and just
and the thing is,
the time it takes to do that is pretty intense.
I'm able to practice most of them, right? Because it's one table, it's not a big deal. I can practice at home. But for those, there's no practice beforehand. It's just right on the spot.
Right.
You got to think. We had one cart, and we had to move those tables to put them in the right spot, right? Because nobody was helping us. It was just the
crew.
2 people and I. So we're moving this table, put him on the side, put him on the carts, move it. Put it down. And then it's like, oh, it's too far. Move it back on the cart, back up. I mean, this just it's hours. So yeah, it's amazing we're able to make a full video out of just so little time. So I'm still
so cool, man.
gonna bust you guys balls until I can get a better version of this one of those days. So
okay.
Very cool. And so like Ayana was in this video. How often do you guys is she part of your productions? I mean, I know some of the stuff you shoot at home, she gets involved. She's done some of her own videos, but how often is she a part of the production?
Quite often. If it's not just on the table, it's as far as like a PA basically helping out and stuff like that. I mean, it just takes a small army to really make this happen. So it's it's really invaluable help. And if it's just go get the balls, I mean, it's like literally you got to go run around the table, try to find the cue balls, bring it back, and all those things. So any help is always great. And yeah, she does a little bit of everything. But the one thing is, to be honest with you, some of the videos, people are kind of ruthless on the comments, I'll say. And it's one thing when it's somebody that you just hired, but it's another thing when it's your own family.
Wife,
yeah.
If it's relatively small, or I know it's pretty good, we won't have much trouble, then I'm more than happy to get involved. But if it starts to get a little too much, and it's just I just say I'll rather it's just a model, just pay for it, and it doesn't really impact us, you know what I mean? So
right, It's not personal. Yeah, I get it, man. That's got to be tough, but come on, look at Ayana. She's a beautiful lady.
Yeah.
How can they give her a hard time? That's ridiculous.
And it saves you a ton of money. I mean, it's not inexpensive to hire because you need this model for days. And it's thousands sometimes to lock a person down, especially a person who's good at what they do.
Yeah, I mean, and people, they don't realize, they always talk, let's just say, badly, that it takes a while to make a shot this and there. But what they don't realize is it takes a long time to set the cameras, move the cameras. Then if the camera do its job right, you got to do it again. Then if the model didn't look, you got to do it again. I mean, it's a lot of things to coordinate that are really tricky. And some shots might take a while, but I mean,
sorry to piggyback on what you're saying. I'm sorry to cut you. I apologize.
No worries.
He's so right though. Like, he could nail a shot, but if I miss it, he has to do it again.
Yeah.
And that happens. I mean, this stuff happens so fast that sometimes you don't know how things are going to react. You try to anticipate it the best you can. I do remember in the last video, once you were practicing a shot and I was setting up, and you like nailed it the first time, and I wasn't recording, and you were like, "Gah!"
And then you got to do it 20 times later, and then
and it did. And about shot 15, I thought you were going to rip my head off. but we got it done.
I think I remember which one it is too.
It's the one where it goes wah, wah, and then it's all in this corner pocket. I'm sure that was super technical explanation.
Yeah.
What's the next video we got?
We have this is a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude, perfect
stuff.
stuff.
I've ever have.
Turn this back.
I gotta grab a beer real quick while we watch this one. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Dude, perfect.
What's up, guys? We're Dude Perfect. And I'm Florian Venom Kohler. Welcome to Full Trick Shots 2.
Now, everybody knows these guys. You've been on the internet for about 22 seconds. Dude Perfect is someone you know.
One of the beautiful things about working from home right now is we actually get to drink beer while we're working and talking to you guys. So
we have a rule: 3 drink minimum on stream.
What's really interesting is those guys have quite a different age bracket as far as their audience is. So it's really good because they was able to really impact a lot of the youth, and I think we inspired a lot of juniors with that video. To be honest with you, because it's just those guys are so big. It was amazing to be part of it. And this is volume 2, so we had the first one, which is pretty good, but this one was just another And the reason is because the facility was just awesome. You know, I mean, this is like a playground for adults. So what else you need?
And so where is this facility?
This is near I think Dallas, near Dallas in Texas.
Dallas. Okay. And so these guys saw you online and gave you a call. Their agent gave you a call. How did this work?
Yeah, that's it. Basically, we have the same network as far as the YouTube goes. So we have the same people kind of helping us out. It's kind of a different level, but you know. And they put us in touch, and so we did the first one. The first one was really successful. I think it got like 60, 70 million views or something like that. And so we just went back for doing the next level, and obviously by then those guys were even bigger. I mean, I believe right now they're #1 as far as subscriber goes in the US. So I think it's very, very successful, you know, Venom guys. So yeah, I mean, what is? I mean, I don't need much, you know. You give me tables, I don't care. You know, this was a one-day shoot, but from the morning to the night, and I'm able to go crazy. It's perfect, you know, like this. And when am I going to be able to shoot a cue ball, you know, into a whole thing and from the second floor? I mean, that doesn't exist in real life, you know. It's like
and how many times did it take to do that? How many times did it take?
This was awful. This probably took like 40 minutes, I'll say.
Wow.
Yeah, it's too bad I don't have the picture to show you, but I literally broke my ferrule. My ferrule got like squeezed like that. It was amazing. It's something you've never seen before.
And so what were these guys? I mean, these guys come across, when I see them on video, they come across as super cool, like you want to hang out with them, like total fun. I mean, and sometimes I know celebrities and things, personality-wise, are different in person. How were they to work with?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends who's, you know, because it's a bunch of different guys. So some of them are a little more, I'll say, down to earth than some others. Some of those guys, you can tell, you know, they're just, that's what it is now. And then some of the others are, you know, they're just really enjoying it, and they're just really, you know, taking whatever they can out of it. It's just, I think at their level, it just went so big that it's way more of a business than people think, and it's how to act, you know, and that's kind of a skill. You got to act on the point like that. And but this was very inspiring, because as far as making them professional, even just for me, you know, you can see the equipment, the team they have, all the little in between, how to coordinate. I mean, there's a lot of things that I've been able to kind of take and try to recreate. Now, the only thing that they have and I don't have is they have sort of a social interaction between themselves, right? Which I don't, because I'm basically alone in my thing. But it's it's fun, and I think what it is just, yeah, the amount of possibilities you have in this facility is just special, you know. If we were to do that for us, it would cost us a fortune, because rented building and this and that. I mean, this is just, you know. Yeah.
It would take days logistically too, because you'd have to travel, break down, set up, travel, break down, set up for each of these different shots.
Well, on top of that, think about those tables. You know, they basically bought those tables because we just destroyed them. I mean, and like rented it.
Well, they don't call you Venom for
nothing, and they didn't care. You know, like, oh, it's 10,000. Who cares? You know, that doesn't matter. You know, it's like, okay, because if I shoot a ball from the second floor and it drops on the wood, there's a crater in the wood, and it doesn't matter what brand it is, you know. So
yeah. And so what is like this project here? This had to be big for your career, right? Like where does this rank? I mean, in terms of, I'm guessing you do this video and suddenly the phone starts ringing a lot more often and people are wanting to book you for stuff. I mean, what does this do for your career?
It's not as easy as it is, really. I think it's more a personal achievement than anything. I mean, it is good, obviously, for views and stuff like that as far as branding goes. But it's still a little bit different. It's not quite the same. And yeah, I don't know if it was really that big. The one thing that was really big is the subscriber counts from one channel to another. This is simply because, you know, they're so big that the residual they bring you is amazing.
Right.
You know, and I don't know how many subscribers. I probably have 100,000 subscribers, you know, just from this video. So
it's interesting too, because I'm kind of watching online.
Speaking of that, actually, I'm going to stop you there. This is probably the best shot I've done in my career. One of the very best. This takes you how professional those guys are and how willing to do crazy stuff, you know, to get the views they are. Because I would have never stand there, like, ever. Period.
And how many times did that shot take?
That was a 5-minute deal, because you can't.
That guy's a rock.
Die. So I had to be right on it, and I always try to miss high, right? And then I lower, but if I missed it low, I mean, I might have just hit the guy in the face, and that would have been over. So No, this was this was. But and I told the guys like, dude, you got to wear a helmet. There's no way I can't trust myself. I've never done that. I don't know how to control it. It's just, but no, that's how committed they are to getting the views, and that's quite a skill because I don't know any people that would have done. I would have done it. I don't think Steve would have done it, and he trusts me on some crazy thing.
Yeah. So how
Not
many
sober.
shots? How many times did he get? Did he take a ball to the face or the head?
No,
Did he get
not on
none?
this one.
That's
That's
good.
a very
This one.
happy man right there. A very relieved man.
Crazy.
I've
I love
seen
the
you
Dude
clock
Perfect
some
stuff.
people, man.
Oh, I've done it. I mean, and you've seen shows live. I hit people pretty much everywhere, mostly in the nuts, but I do hit people. So
And so, like, how many production people are on this shoot? Because I know they have high-end production. Like, how many people are we talking about?
well, they actually only have 2 guys filming and an editor, I believe. So
Wow.
this is not too much. But they're all in-house, so that means they all have the logistic in there ready. They have all the material, so they don't have to move around. It's pretty simple for them. It's just they're record, full-time filmer and editor. So that's all they do. And
This is
I
their
think,
product. This is their
Right,
widget.
that helps
This
them
is
with
their
the
car.
ID.
This is their tire.
yeah, prop guys. I mean, they have sort of think about it like a small TV crew, pretty much. It's the best I could put it.
Yeah. Very cool stuff. And did this video set you on a path? Because I know you've done a number of collaborations now over the years with other sports. Was this the video that kind of started you on the collaboration path, or had you already started on that?
I think so. Yeah, I think so, because before that it was mostly collabs between other pool trick shot guys, and then I realized that we might be able to cross more disciplines together actually, and sort of make it cool. And I had one that I really liked, who is a card thrower who was on the America's Got Talent and all those things, and it was pretty quite amazing because we all had a different skill and it sort of applies to it a little bit. And then I did one with a juggler. I mean, there's a few ones that are really cool, and honestly, they deserve to better views. But you never quite know with viral videos. It's hard to control. So
About that magic dude, we randomly bumped
Yeah.
into Florian. I don't know if I ever told you this, Jason.
I remember that, right?
We bumped into Florian on Fremont Street in Vegas as he was filming that video with that guy. And I don't know if we made it into the video. I think we did. It's been a while since I watched it. We
I think
made
you
it,
did,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was. I don't know if it was me, but it may have been one person in the group that was in that video. That was a cool.
Hey,
this
remember
guy
what he did,
threw a
right?
card on the building.
Yeah,
Like
if
from
you
the
guys
ground.
been to Vegas, that's Fremont zipline thing, right?
Yeah.
He was betting everybody. He was telling them, if you can throw a card into where those guys are starting to zip line there, he'll give you $1,000 cash. And people are trying, and the card goes and
I
fly,
tried it.
and that's it. Nobody can do it, and the guy goes and throw it, and he goes in there, and everybody's like, "What's going on?"
So
And
there's
don't
the
know how he
guy
does it.
standing on the
So-
ground doing on top of a 2-story building, a playing card, like a deck of.
And they're playing card too. Yeah.
Crazy.
Next
So,
one.
Dude Perfect, yeah, let's move on. Let's see what the next video looks like.
Oh, pool
Okay, so-
ball.
So
Yeah, one of my
another,
favorite too.
another collaboration here, right?
Yep.
Jason Belmonte, professional bowler, and Florian team up for this one. What casino was this in?
I think it was the Gold Coast, and
Gold Coast. There you go. Yeah.
just won the U.S. Open very recently, bowling U.S. Open. So
You blinked. Just saying.
Look at his face. He's like, ooh.
I would
I
have
would
blinked too.
keep saying, being hit by a pool ball is one thing, being hit by a bowling ball is death. So I'd rather not die that day. But he was professional, so.
I was actually at this shoot for a while. I was out in
Yeah.
Vegas for something, and we stopped in. I think Kevin and I actually appear like late in this video somewhere, but you see our legs or something at least. But it was pretty cool because I had obviously been on the set of the Riviera shot, the shoot that we did there, but this was totally different because you had Belmonte, who in the bowling scene, he's like one of the top bowlers in the world, right?
Big name.
Oh, he's the man. I mean, I think he's like I don't know if he's number one, but like I say, he just won the U.S. Open this year. I mean, he won so many majors, and yeah, he's one of the biggest names, one of the most famous. So
Yeah, so to see you guys, doing your things kind of tandem was really for me as a viewer, was a very cool experience to see, no doubt.
yeah, what's
is
really cool
Belmonte
is
here,
it's the respect everybody has for the other one, because we know how many hours it took and the skills, and even though we can't do whatever the other guy is doing, it's just it kind of crosses over and all those hours, and it kind of makes sense, and it's very cool. Yeah, I really like that. It was, yeah.
And how is that when you start collaborating with somebody? Because there's probably got to be a certain kind of like we talked about with the models. Like you need somebody that's professional. There's got to be some decent chemistry. You know, I'm sure I'm sure some of the people you work with are easier to work with than others. How does this video? How does Jason Belmonte in terms of collaboration?
Well, as far as the creative process, it was great because I could match up basically all his shots on the pool table, sort of the same concept. And, like this, this is great. Like, this is just logical, jump over, big, small balls, whatever. It's still a ball sport, so it kind of makes sense. Now, the bigger issue
pool ball.
is I never realized, you might be able to do, like, I don't know, 10 tries for me, and it takes 1 try for the guy doing the bowling shot. So, simply because you got to go reset the pins and the distance and the focus because the ball is so much heavier, it's more of a little more physical. So while I just go and grab the ball and put it right back in the spot and just go back for it, he only did enough, you know what I mean? So I was able to go much faster, and that's I realized that pool trick shot's not so bad after all, because I wouldn't see myself being able to do a bowling trick shot show because it just takes so long to reset everything that it's very hard to keep the crowd entertained. So
Yeah, a lot of filler time.
there, what I can for live, it would be much more difficult. And like this, I remember just to balance the pins on top of the others. I mean, it just took us a while. And yeah, I was able to help and help with the props and everything. And it was just I was surprised.
And so, how did this one come together? How did you guys find each other?
Well, actually, this was from the Dude Perfect because I believe Jason Belmonte was on Dude Perfect as well. We had a viral video with them. I had a viral video with them, and then I think he reached out to me. I was like, "Yeah, that makes total sense because pool and bowling is so close, and we're both trying to improve our sports and our numbers, as far as the sports goes." And I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of pool players are bowlers, and a lot of bowlers are pool players. So it felt like it was a natural synergy, yeah. And so it was kind of normal. And then we obviously realized that once again you need a budget because nobody wants to work for free. I mean, it's not actually we want to work for free, but we don't want to lose money, right?
Right.
And hire a professional crew like that. I mean, this was an expensive video, so we're happy again that AP was able to help us out and just bring kind of a dream to life. And I quite don't know if we reached exactly how many people we wanted to do, but the one thing I know is. Well, yeah,
that was a
One
mild.
thing I know is everybody in both communities really liked it, and I had only good feedback from bowlers and pool players, all of it. So
nice. Who would you say, in terms of collaboration, like what's your favorite collab that you've done with somebody else? Is it the card guy? You've kind of mentioned that one, and do you have a favorite?
I really think this guy is really impressive because I don't know. It's just the fact that you can do magic, and then the card's also like a physical skill. So there's a lot of skills involved, and you can just the hours, and it's very easy to work with. Very very nice, very very good with. I mean, it's just the only problem I have with it is every time he comes and do a collab, I got cards in my house everywhere, like literally.
You're finding them for months.
I don't know how many cards he wastes, but it's amazing. Like you'll find them everywhere. It's like you go to the restrooms, like, hey, there's a playing card here. What's going on?
That's funny stuff. Steve, what do we got next?
One quick question about this video: how many pool balls were lost during the making of this video?
I'm not sure. I have
More
like
than one
balls, and I just kind of have a bunch. Thankfully, I'm sponsored by Aramis, so I'm okay. So I got a trade. Sometimes you come with 15 and you're left with 10, or if you leave with 12 or 13, it's like okay.
So the Gold Coast is still pulling pool balls out of gutters, maybe.
It might be, yeah. There might be a few in the gutters there, yeah.
Gold Coast is doing the same video somewhere else to say the exact same thing about you, Florian. I love it. All right, nice video.
That's funny. That's funny.
All right,
what do we got here? So
this
this is the desert shoot, huh?
That is one of my latest video, and probably another one of my sort of dream that I was trying to, kind of make happen, and it just took really years to materialize simply because it's just too complicated. And once again, this was thanks to Bulldog, really pulled up and believed in the project. And my idea was always, you try to take pool tables out of the pool, make it a little more extreme, make it more of an extreme sport for what I'm doing at least, so we can kind of reach out to a different crowd that's a little more slightly different, try to break the codes, break the barriers.
Sure.
the idea to make this more extreme was to simply go in more extreme location.
So where is
location.
this location? Where are
Yeah,
you?
this is what we call Valley of Fire. It's only an hour north of Vegas, so for every team they're able to go to the championship in Vegas or singles, I highly suggest you go there.
Alright,
It's
guys,
pretty
so
hot,
I'm here.
but it's absolutely
called the Valley of
beautiful.
Fire.
Yeah, Valley of Fire. I can't
Come
believe it'd be
on.
hot.
It looks like Mars, okay? Not even like Earth. It's one of the. I think it's a national park. It's gorgeous. It's something else. Yeah, we lost a few pool balls out there too.
Oh, I bet.
Okay, so we got them back for most of them, but.
So how hot was it when you shot this?
And
Like,
that's
what's the
Nathan
temperature
there.
like? Yeah, there's
Yeah,
Nathan.
Nathan that was out there who
Basically,
was
it's,
doing most of the
an hour
high
north of
project. The
Vegas.
high project we have. How hot was it? I don't
Used to
remember. I
be
think he was in
covered by water. I think,
May probably,
Giant
so
Lake or something.
probably close to 100
Millions
degrees,
of
something like
years
that.
ago. And this is probably the
Nice.
coolest landscape.
And you could see the
in,
challenge of getting that. I'm sure
Antarctica,
setting that table up in the dirt and everything else was
There's
had to
so
be
many
just a
different
bear of a
spots, and,
challenge.
Yeah, it was a little
Absolutely.
overestimation of our skills again. You know,
Since we cannot
just
do a
what's the
trick
big
shot
deal? You know,
video
pull
Mars
a pool table in a
Yes,
cart.
so
You just
yeah.
don't realize that it doesn't really work on the sand. So
sure doesn't.
we had to drag this thing all over.
Nor gravel either.
Yeah.
Boy, and how about
And what's
the
good with the
dust
hat, as soon
factor?
as
I
you
mean,
take
you've
the
got
hat off,
you got
you're
high-end
just
cameras,
in a whole different
you got a pool
galaxy.
table. I mean, what's the
Valley of Fire is
dust
a pool
factor
table.
out there, and how is that
Can actually
impacting
burn,
equipment?
and,
Oh, it's impacting the equipment
trick
a
shot
lot
for you
because I
guys.
mean, first off, it's almost never leveled because you level and level, you know. So it means most of the shots have to be pretty fast, or at least really well done. Like this, there's no really leveling that goes into play, so you kind of have it. The dust is a pain in the butts, but actually, what's worse is the sun, right? So
The lighting. That's
wind,
thing
the
that's-
wind is also terrible because the balls move. So it's all great and it looks fantastic in videos, but the pain and the sweat and tears that goes in there is it's just amazing.
So would you say this is your hardest one that you've actually produced and shot?
Probably because the shots are really, really high skill levels. Like those. It's only a couple seconds in the video, but this is dramatically hard. This is not
Sometimes
something,
hours.
So to pull it live during only a few hours of sun, you gotta be ready. You gotta bring your A game, and you can't delay the production too much because, it's money there. It's just flying. The light is flying by the minute. So I think we had to go there, left the house probably at 4 a.m, drive up there, set up everything, start as soon as the sun is out, and just keep going all day until you're basically burnt out. And when you think you're
Literally,
done,
in this case.
you really got to move the table, and this is hard. The pool table is heavy. I mean, I don't remember exactly how much this one's probably weighed, but I'll probably say about 1,200 pounds, something like that, so maybe
Well,
more.
I wanted to ask you about the table here because I know you work with Rassen, but here you're using a diamond. Did that have to do with mobility and ability to get it around, or was it just sponsorship related?
No, it wasn't sponsorship related. It was literally because we had to move this table quickly out of
Yeah.
different locations because you might not see it necessarily, but it's all different locations. So we moved the table about 3 or 4 times there. And this table is a one-piece slate, so it was much easier to move. So you can literally just put it in a cart, put it in a truck, drive, put it
Guys,
down.
it's
The
just
problem
too
is it's
hot.
really heavy,
Look at my shirt.
and
I've
it's
been
really
sweating
not
buckets
practical
here. I'm out of
to
it.
move. So when you got to drag it on the sand, it's just it's not quite fun. So this was I guess.
Heck no.
Yeah, that looks like it'd be quite the challenging terrain, and I'm guessing it doesn't rain a whole lot in the Valley of Fire. But I mean, are you watching the weather too to make sure? Because
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we had to.
Vegas, you do get
Rain.
flash thunderstorms and rain that come in, and
We got pretty lucky there, but it was it was acceptable, I guess. It rained a little bit before the latest shoot I've done. Though those videos are not out yet. Those are tutorials for an outdoor pool table, and we went into a dry lake bed. And so the first day was a nightmare because we had so much wind. You put the ball there,
Yeah.
it would move. So you really can't do anything. And then I think we did the second day, it was okay. And then we had a third day. And the third day, people decided to bring RC air. And it went everywhere over. So we had old sound, it was all messed up. And so you're waiting, you're trying to talk, and then there's, right in front of you.
now,
You're like,
Steve, the video we're watching here. Is this a new video?
No, this is the same video.
It's the same, yeah. It's the same. So we're still, yeah. The concept here was to make as long and as entertaining as a video as possible, and just sort of like I'll say it's a final touch, but it's it's probably one of the latest big project for a little while, because obviously I bought the league, and I was gonna be busy, and I knew I won't have as much time and resources to put into it. So this was really just for more of myself, and just put a bunch of touch.
Last hurrah, kind of.
And so where was this portion of this video shot? Where is this facility?
Still in Vegas. This was actually a studio. We had a good deal on it. A friend of mine was able to do it during dead hours, basically. So same thing at nights, during days that nobody rented it. Always got to be a little smart about those. So
There's deals to be had.
And so one of the other things that I've noticed with all the videos, the color of the balls, you use the black and red and the white. Is that just because you believe, visually that's the best, or what's the reasoning there? But instead of the traditional set of balls.
That was probably one of the best concepts we've had, and I don't even remember if it was Nathan or I. It was basically the original guy, producing the videos. And the one main issue we noticed when the first trick shot videos we're watching is it's pretty hard to see what ball are you actually hitting. Like, is it a fluke or is it not a fluke, right? So the main thing was to make sure we eliminate all the flukes so people know the shot is legit and it's exactly what was intended. So what we did is we just decided the red ball is going to be the object ball to make, and the black ball is going to be the object ball to avoid, so the obstacle ball, right? And that way there was no question, like, hit a red ball, it's good. If the red ball's left on the table, that means the shot is no good. So we simplified everything, and it was funny because when we came up with it, people were telling us we're crazy not to use numbers, and now it's just a logical thing. And but those are standard balls, because I hear that a lot. Those are absolutely standard balls. They're Hermes balls. The only difference is they're just one color. And believe it or not, it's actually cheaper to make those balls because the numbers are not on it, so it doesn't cost much.
Interesting. And I know this was one that you did with Nathan as well. We've talked a lot about Nathan. You kind of see him off camera there, but how many? There's Nathan. There's Nathan. Super talented dude. You mentioned out of Canada. Suddenly tragedy strikes.
I know you have my.
Oh!
I'm not proud of that one.
Dang, Florian! Oh, I bet you feel terrible.
They're paid for it, okay? So don't feel as bad, but yeah, that was pretty brutal.
And what was her reaction?
I don't miss quite often, but I do miss sometimes. Usually, if I do miss, I mostly hit stealth.
And so and that was a wrap for her that day, huh? That was it? She was out of there?
Pretty much it. I think there was enough at this point.
Yeah, I'd imagine. You take a cue ball to the head, you get to go home a little early, but you take a cue ball to the head.
Yeah, mild concussion.
Has anybody checked in on her to make sure she's all right today? I mean, did we follow up?
Yeah, she's still okay, I think. I mean, yeah.
Does she still talk to you is the question.
Yeah, I'm guessing you never worked with her again.
Not really, no.
She doesn't remember who she is.
But I want to go back to Nathan real quick, because I know he's been a part of so many of your videos. How many videos have you guys done together?
We've done Venom 1, Venom 2, Venom 3, so that's already it. Then we've done the APA project.
He was involved, the one at the Riviera, yep.
Yeah, and he's been almost involved in almost all of the viral videos, and the reason is to record pool, you need to be a pool player, because the ball moves so quickly. I've tried it with different producers, and some guys do a better job than others, but really, the main focus is try to follow the ball, and if you don't understand what the cue ball is doing, you really can't record it well. And there's a few basic concepts, and it just, and it takes dedication too, because Nathan will be one of the guys that will believe in me, and you have a stupid shot that you have to try for an hour, but it's worth it. In my opinion, it's worth it to get it. He will stick to it and do the same motion, for an hour. Meanwhile, you hire somebody and they will just be like, it's not gonna work. Just give me something
not
easy.
Not as emotionally invested in it, because he,
which I can,
player, he respects it as an art form and he approaches it that way. Whereas you hire somebody who's not, it's just another job.
And they're different things too, to me, there's different things for trick shot. There's three aspects to it. There's the live shows aspect, where you have 3 tries, you gotta make your shot, or otherwise you kind of go to the next one. There's the competition where we don't really pick your shots, you got to make also in 2 or 3 tries. And then there's the videos when you just got to basically make whatever you want, but the goal is to make it as crazy, as special, and as new as possible. And those are 3 very different aspects. And sometimes one goes in one category and goes to the third one, but it doesn't necessarily cross over. And some shots are beautiful live, but they don't really make any sense in the video. And the reverse works the same way. So And one of the things is to find a guy that's dedicated enough, and I don't even know if it's dedication or stupidity at this point for us. Because just don't stop, you know? I mean,
It's sometimes funny how close those two things are related, right?
well, you can't really see, but I mean, I got a blister here, and I'm literally having blister from playing pool. I mean, this is, I'm the only guy I know that has blister from playing pool. So it's how crazy it gets, and he will be the only one following me till 4 a.m, and it's not much I can do. It's just it works out good, and the last project we've been working on is tutorials, advanced tutorials, and those are starting to be released monthly basis probably right now. And I think we have the first one out that you guys can check out on my YouTube. Also work with Pool Dog. It's going to be covering all the breaks and stuff like that. So we're doing a bunch of different things.
Awesome. You're always working, man. So what's this next video we got here?
This is probably one of my favorites. And also, actually, it probably got the title of most viewed pool video of all time.
This one right here is your biggest?
And this is about 500 million views altogether, not just on my YouTube, but on all platforms combined.
Okay.
Yeah, and the same. This was shot in Germany. So when we recorded Venom Trickshot 2, we did, I think, 10 or 11 countries to record it, and that was over the course of a month. So this was a German segment, and that's the pool hole I learned how to play pool too. So
Just where it started.
yeah, I started Trickshot, right, and I didn't know how to play, so I started to do shows. And in the show, I got people wanting to do challenge matches, and here I am. I'm playing like an APA 3, but I'm not a 3, but like a 4 or 5, okay. And I'm doing crazy trick shots, so it made no sense. So after a couple of years, I decided it was enough. So I went to Germany, right, and I was in this pool that was in Lahr, Germany, and I practiced with the owner, who was a German champion, like a while back, and he basically kicked my butt for 6 months. And all I did was rocking 8 hours a day every weekend. It was stupidness the same way. And the guy, because he was so good that nobody wanted to play with him, nobody wanted to rock for him, right? So, and after 6 months, I got bored. Oh, you can see the guy out there. After 6 months, I got bored of not doing the table, and I started running outs, and that was it. And then I, became a good player from there. But to this day, that guy will still call me Rackmaster, and he's the only guy that knows it, apart from you guys now.
And now everybody we've streamed.
That's how I learned pool,
So what?
He's probably the 400 million views. Proper explanation there.
What do you attribute the success of this video to, or what? Even you said this is actually one of your personal favorites as well. Like, what makes this one stand above some of the others?
It was fun. You can see a few beers on the sides out there. The same one we had in the first video. Name is Adriana. She's the best to work with. Like, she's an absolute champ.
Okay, so same girl. I just realized.
Yeah, she would get hits like super hard, and she's like, "That's okay," and go back at it. Like she would have literally like redness from staying on the table, and she would just be okay with it. It was quite amazing. Always smiling, and and also on top of that, also had IDs, because one of the main problem is we also try to always have sort of an interaction between model and the shots, because otherwise it's kind of just boring. The idea is not to make it's not to just stay and have like a live obstacle, like this, for example. This was her ID, just move the hand or something like that. There's a bunch of different things that we just kind of, it helps, and the flow of the video is partially because of her involvement. It made it a lot more fun and a lot better to watch, pretty much. So
nice. And so with her, did you guys have to bring her from the States or from Canada to Germany?
Yeah, she is actually Canadian, but she was I think she lives in Spain at this current moment, so we had to pay her flight from Spain. And we flew over, stayed a day there, recorded all night, same thing. And next day she was back on a plane.
How many countries have you been to, Florian, out of curiosity?
I think I'm closing on 45 countries.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
2 states, by the way, so whoever listening to me, I missed a show in Alaska for APA, and I believe Wyoming. So if you're listening, that's the only 2 states I'm missing, and I've done
Wyoming and Alaska. So if you want to book a show with Florian, Wyoming and Alaska, he's, maybe he'll give you a little.
I will, because it completes my map. So
there you go.
Extra shot and a glacier with polar bears.
There you go.
I don't know. I mean, sky's the limit.
And what's the favorite place you've been? I mean, you've been so many places. What do you really like? Where do you like?
Honestly, where I live right now,
Vegas, huh?
Vegas, yeah. The thing I love about Vegas is it's a land of opportunity. At least it used to be until now. You know what I mean? It's just you can do whatever you want. Everything is always open. You work hard. You can get it your way. It's pretty open companies and business. I mean, like I say, you know, again, it's quite different right at this exact moment. But I know I could have never done whatever I've done if I was in France. There's just simply no way. And you know, forever grateful to be in the US for that. So.
Right. For sure. What do we got next, Steve? Are we almost at the end of our playlist here?
I can make us at the end.
Well, we've been on an hour. How many more do we got?
I want to say,
Well,
I don't know, a couple.
And this was a very, very short selection.
This is I think we have 10 altogether. We're at an hour. I got to be real honest. I've not kept track.
Okay, so this one here, this video, my favorite as far as the technical side of it goes. Those are the hardest shots I've ever put in the video, and I will stand by it. And this was shot in a little small studio. Same thing, we had carpet on the wall, and it was really a ghetto set, if you pardon the language, you know. But the shots are so advanced that, I mean, to me, they're worth it. And I don't.
Where was this one? Sorry, Florian. Where's this one shot at?
Vegas, same
Vegas. Okay.
people I had home moved it in this little studio. But yeah, I don't believe anybody's gonna come close to be able to do a video that technically advanced in a while. So this is why it's in there.
Yeah, I mean, really the setup that you guys kind of initially came up with for the first video and have kind of kept this dark, you know, setup, all the light on the table, very minimal color. I mean, this is kind of, you guys crafted this, and it's beautiful. It's art. I mean, it really is.
You say you do it because you have to cover up the studio. Man, I'm telling you now. I agree with Jason. Everybody, this is rad. Like this is on
It's your
purpose,
trademark
Thomas.
now. Trademark.
Well, it is. It's
looks
kind of a
great.
brand image, you know, and it's just really, if the shots are good enough and the content on the table is good enough, you don't need anything on the side, you know. There's no point in having something fancy on the background if you don't, you know, if the shots are good enough, they will make up for it. So.
I remember one time when we first met, we were just sitting and chatting and chilling about just off YouTube and just, you know. And you had said something to me that I've repeated to other people when talking about you. You said on your YouTube thumbnails, especially, they'll click for the girl, they'll click to watch the video for the girl, but once they're here, they'll stay for the shots.
That's the hope, at least, you know. I mean, I don't like to use props too much for my trick shots because I like them very styled and very clean. But you know, having the human aspect in a girl is just a glamorous thing, and it really is Vegas matching. You know, I know, you know, in those day and age, you might feel like it's a little not proper, but to me, it's more art than anything. It is not an improper use of women. You know, it's just art, and it just looks better. Sort of like a magician uses beautiful system. This is sort of the same, and that's what I always wanted in it. But yeah,
Women are beautiful.
Yeah, I think that comparing it to a magician, that's a good analogy too. I think it makes a lot of sense.
really those shots here were, you know, my absolute best. I was just, you know, top of my game at this point, and yeah, I practice a little less now that I have the pool league, but you know, in a month after quarantine, I can tell you I'll be probably right back at this.
You know, it's fun. Another thing that you told me a long time ago was I asked, just kind of when, you know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, before you were as big as you are now, I asked you, I was like, what's your goal? Like, what would make you happy, I think is what I phrased. And you responded, Steve, all I want to do is get locked in a room and play pool and make videos.
That is very true. You know, unfortunately, you know, when the financial aspect comes into play, it's a little different. But I can tell you that right now, so we have I have a guy that's actually stuck in the house with us because he was supposed to start working for the league, and he's a good friend of mine from France, but we got stuck here in quarantine. His flight got canceled and everything. So, but he's living there, and he's basically telling me I'm a madman because I'm trying to go to bed and it's 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'm just banging the table, you know, and it's just.
Right. I'm sure your neighbors love you.
Now, you know, I think my neighbor probably hates me too. But I don't even know
4 or
how.
5 in the morning? God!
It's just,
No.
I don't know. It's like a weird connection I have with it, and I really, you know, it kind of, my brain just kind of shut down. And just all I do is just play and then do the trick shots, and
It's your happy place, man.
problem else, you know. And then, you know, you go back. It's sort of like going for a jog, you know, but in a weird way, I guess.
And do you explain to your, because I know you just built the house, what, 2 years ago, somewhere in there?
Yeah.
Did you go out and talk to the neighbors and say, hey, look, If you hear like a lot of banging, it's not me like punching the wall. It's actually me playing. I mean,
Yeah,
do you
did.
kind of like
We did.
introduce that topic to people so they know?
A little
Your
bit,
wife,
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
he's
we
not
kinda
hitting
tried
me.
it.
He's
I tell you one thing, that was hard to shop for the house because to find space to fit the tables was this big issue. So,
And how
Yep.
many tables you got at home?
I have 4 right now.
What?
Of course you do.
Well, okay, so I have the trick shot table, which is the one that gets beat up. So once you got a trick shot table, you cannot play pool anymore. So I got a normal pool table. Then I have a carom table, no pockets, 10-foot table. This is sort of it's my fun thing. I'm trying to get pretty good at this game. And then the last one is an outdoor table I just recently got after filming the video, and we just have it in the garden. So I mean, it's more of a dining
Pool
table.
table in your garden, brother. I dig it.
Still is there. So, and I know a bunch of you guys would probably love to have that forced table there. So I'm not gonna complain. You'll never hear me complain.
Yeah, there's a lot of pool players out there right now. They're like, he's got 4 tables, and I got this little one that I'm
I know,
playing
little
the.
Walgreens table.
Yeah.
But there's the hint. There's no
This is cool
TV
shot
here. Okay, so that's weird. The weird spot. We don't even have a living room. Pretty much, it's just pool table. This house is for work. Okay, we got the office, and then we got a pool table and the bedroom, and that's about it. The rest is it's kind of sacrificed. I don't know how she can put up with it, to be honest with you, so far. But I'm a lucky guy. So
And who's this guy in this video with you, Florian?
that's a good friend of mine from Poland. He used to be a world champion in trick shot as well, and yeah, that was another one of my projects to just kind of like try to get as good as a collaboration as possible, for 2 players to make it more interesting. And yeah, it worked out pretty good. I think I might have killed the guy though after it. I don't think what it is, what I am until they started working with us. And yeah, I think he might have a little bit scared after that.
As a film guy, when you were doing those shots over the bar there, I'm thinking, don't hit the lights. Don't hit the lights. You know what I mean? Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to ask, out of all the people that you've done, out of all the pool players that you've done things with, I'm curious who you've worked best with in that regard.
You mean as a professional pool player or?
Yeah, trick shot, and just a pool player, not necessarily a card person or a bowling person. But
Pool players, I know most of the pros, and we all have. Well, it's weird because at first, I kind of had no respect from the peers because they thought it was more of a circus act than anything. But then, the more the shots got elaborated and the skills got involved, they realized that damn, they can't do it. I can't do it. The same way I couldn't do what they would do, but they can't do what I'm doing. So then it kind of changed everything. And but I had a good go at it with Darren Appleton back then. We had a few challenges. And we kept it, fair. Like I didn't do any massing or stuff like that. It was purely.
You kept it fair.
How
How many people can say that? I kept it fair for Darren Appleton.
Well, it's just let's be honest. He could put me a drill that I can never do, but I could put him a mass he could never do. So we had to sort of find a fine line. So it was all skill shot, but we had a good go at it. I always have fun with Carl Boyes at the matchroom events and stuff like that.
I was going to mention that at the Moscone Cup this
Yeah.
year. I know they had you out there doing some trick shots with the VIPs and stuff, and it looked like Carl was having a tough time. Of course, Carl Boyes is now the assistant captain of Team Europe in the Moscone Cup, but it looked like he was having trouble recreating the shots you were doing, and he was quite entertained by the challenge.
It's a different skill. It really is, and it's one thing to be able to shoot a ball straight, but to be able to go 3 line and have the ball still mass A doesn't necessarily make sense. And you can be a world champion. I don't care, if you don't practice it, there's not much you can do, and it's a lot of hours I put, and it used to really impact me when I saw the comments like, oh, he tries a million times, you can do it live, whatever. But realistically, nobody can. So. And nobody can even have the drive to do it for most of the shots. So it's kind of a talent too, I guess. Just obstination, I guess.
Hey, when you create these videos, I mean, I know you use a lot of different platforms. You use Facebook, you use YouTube, you use Instagram. When you're creating, I mean, does the platform go into the thought process, or are you creating, the art that you want, and then you're splicing it up or cutting it up for the different platforms? How do you create?
It absolutely comes into play. I mean, obviously, Instagram is very different than YouTube. And on top of that, the algorithm changed very, very often. So on YouTube, you got a tendency to try to go longer. And it's a weird thing. So that's why we try to go for like a 10-minute video sometimes. I try to at least go 3 minutes. And Instagram is pretty easy because it's just a short highlight, so you just pick kind of the best shot of the video and you just kind of spaced it out. I kind of like Instagram, but I took it a little late because I didn't really believe in the platform when it first started. But YouTube and Facebook, I really had a good grip on it, and I know kind of what people want to see. And especially now, you know, it's okay to have a little longer contents. And I think in the future, there's going to be a little more replay, a little more behind the scenes and stuff like that, just to get the length a little higher. So,
Nice.
to me, as a personal opinion, I'm basically raised around this Red Bull style video, which is short, fast, action paced. And if I'm able to just show, you know, every shot like this, bam, 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 in 2 minutes, I'll be happy. But you kind of have to follow what people want to see as well. So
Don't shave against the grain, yeah.
yeah.
So I will say that the next video is the last video.
Oh, is that our special? Is it our special surprise video?
Yes.
Oh, Florian, we got a special surprise video.
I'm gonna hate it. If it's the elf video, I'm gonna kill you.
Ah! Play the video.
Damn, that is ruthless. That is ruthless.
All right.
You know, I hated this thing. It was the worst elf costume I've ever seen.
So here's the story on this video. So every year, APA produces around Christmas some type of holiday video just to wish our members happy holidays, Merry Christmas. And so we called Florian. We had previously done a really good trick shot video with Dr. Q in a Santa outfit, and we thought, let's give
loved it.
Yeah, we thought Florian, he doesn't make a good Santa Claus, but maybe Elf on the Shelf, like And so you initially agreed. But I think when you got the costume on, you were like, I got a text from Becky, who works in our marketing department. She's like, Florian's here, and he's really not happy. And I was
that
like,
wasn't
oh,
the right
no.
size. I mean, you guys took me a large. I were like a medium, you know. Come on. Like, this wasn't even fun. Like, I'm also taking one for the team, but that was just bad.
You did take one for the team, and we adjusted, right? We switched it up, but...
it worked out much better. Yeah.
You are quite the professional to accommodate us, and I just remember her text saying. I think actually she sent me a text with you maybe giving me the bird. I believe is actually what happened.
That is probably exactly what it was.
Yeah, it was you.
I was gonna do it anyway, but I think then you probably pity for me or something.
Yeah, it was you with a couple of fingers extended for me, and so I decided I better leave the office and come right over there and try to smooth things out. So I'm glad we got it worked out, and it ended up being a cute piece, right?
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm okay with it. You know, I'm not ashamed of anything. You know, it's fine. And
I've not asked you to wear any kind of costume since, so you know.
Yeah, but I'm guessing he's gonna come back, right? I mean, come on.
Oh, sorry, brother. I had to give you a laugh, right? People need a little laugh right now. And
I'm sure
you are.
I'm sure you're gonna read the comment. I'm gonna take another hit, but that's okay. I'm easy for everybody.
All you
the
viewers
show,
out
you know.
there, you be nice. All you viewers be nice because he.
No, but everybody just knows me, and in the APA family, you know, it's a thing. Most of you guys know me. I'm very easygoing, so I know sometimes
He was not happy.
For some reason on the video, you know, I'm never like, you know, laughing or whatever, but in shows it's quite funny. It's quite the opposite. So
you are a true professional, brother. We appreciate all your hard work and you putting up with our weird creative ideas. Steve, you want to say something?
I want to say a lot of things, but I'll keep it short. I will say this is in retaliation for when you came to the St. Louis area and you put me on that pool table and you made me wear that blonde outfit.
I did.
You did.
Yeah. Did you have the boobs too, or just the wig?
You showed zero mercy. You were even
I mean, you know, it's part of the show.
I know this guy. He'll be fine. No,
I wasn't gonna do it to the high up executive. You know, I
know. It was.
I know I'm not in trouble. So
for the record, I knew. Because what had happened is, like, sometimes when you rent a costume, it's great, and when you buy it, you don't know what you're going to get until you get it. And so we actually had intended to do this, like, to get you really something nice, and it was just sometimes when you order something, you get it, and it just doesn't show up, and then you're out of time. And so I actually, if you remember, and I warned my team about it too when I got it, I was like, I don't think he's going to wear this.
Yeah,
did we fly you into St. Louis to do that? Did we bring him to St. Louis to do that, or were you already in St. Louis?
I don't remember. I think he was.
We flew him in.
show. I think I might have had a show for the league back there.
Okay. So we pivoted. This is a good example of how you get on set, you start doing something, it doesn't work quite the way you thought,
Gotta
and you
come up with
pivot and
something.
you make what's the saying? You make lemonade out of lemons, right? And so that's what we did there. And again, you're a true professional, brother. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate you joining us tonight. I think this was
Always
fun.
have fun. Yeah.
Hopefully the audience loved it. A kind of a behind the scenes look at some of these videos that have. Man, how many views do you have now on online? I mean,
Well,
hundreds of
actually,
millions, right?
I have over 1 billion views.
Over 1 billion views. That's
Over 1
crazy.
billion. Yeah, and I'm actually at I think it's 994,000 subscribers on YouTube, so closing out on 1 million, which is going to be the first time anything pool related is
Hit 1 million?
reached that. So, and I can kind of give you a little thing here right now. I'm planning on some a really big live this probably either next week or the week after, whenever we reach that amount. I'm gonna try to beat probably Guinness World Record live. And here, I might just say it. I think we're gonna try to beat the record of the most trick shot played in 24 hours.
Wow.
This, and hopefully, you guys can tune in and just see me sweat for 24 hours because there's only one stupid guy like me. So hope I'll survive this. So I mean, I've played one before. I played 25 hours of artistic billiard before. Unfortunately, it was never validated, but hopefully with a stream with a lot of people for 24 hours, it should be okay. And it was going to be sort of a little celebratory thing. So
How many world records do you have now?
I got a 6 Guinness World Record at this point.
APA only's got one. We only got one, man. You got 6. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm feeling
I
a little.
wish I could show you
insecure.
the back of my thing, but the problem is it's kind of a mess here because I got all the cameras out. So
Oh, that's all right. We won't invade your evening any more than we already have. But we do appreciate you joining us, Florian. And just folks, if you haven't, look for Florian on Facebook. Give him a like and a follow.
Yeah.
Look for him on YouTube under Venom Trickshots. Subscribe to his page. This is how the man feeds his family. So if you like his work,
Here right now.
make sure you follow him online, Instagram as well. Florian, we appreciate it, buddy. Always good to see you. Our best to the family there. Please stay safe. For all of our viewers, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We hope to have some more content like this for you over the next days ahead. Again, we don't know how long the social distancing will go on, but we do encourage you guys to practice the social distancing so we can get back to pool sooner. All right, everybody do your part. Stay safe. We appreciate you tuning in. And until next time, folks, have a great evening. Adios.
See you guys.